Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a complexion session where I'm showing you all of my holy grail complexion products and we're gonna do it together. I have a little for body in there. We're talking a little bit about skin prep and then just everything that has been my daily essentials for like the past year. The complexion products specifically, everything in this video is something that I've been using for 2 months up to like 3 years. So I feel like these are things that I rely on a lot and I want to share them with you. In my short videos, they get more views, but there's less time there to put information about the base. So this will be that information. Much of the time I'm using a combination or all of these products in my tutorials. Sometimes I'm just changing the blush color. Sometimes I'm just adding more or less powder. So yeah, let's get ready and I'll show you all my complexion holy grail favorites. I always start with a clean prepped skin. So today I used a Peach and Lily cleanser, not my favorite, it's just the one I used. I used a vitamin C serum and I used a moisturizer. The minimum routine that you need to do before your glam is cleanse and moisturize the skin. I don't care if you tone, I don't care if you use a hydrating serum, though it is really nice, but it is essential to cleanse the skin, wash it, not just wipe it with something, because you're just spreading those oils around. You need to wash the oil off your skin, especially if you're combo, oily, even dry skin, you need to prep the skin. There is no primer that is better than a clean, hydrated base. This is my favorite cream. This is what I use every day. This is a Darphin Rose Oil Cream. It doesn't have to be this one. It can be any of them. I just love this one so much and I've been using it for years. So I am using that. So that's already on my skin. And then we're just gonna go straight into the complexion. So I always start with my BB cream or foundation first before concealer and everything unless I'm in a hurry. And my favorite bases of all time are the Purlisse BB creams. I have the regular, I have the illuminating. I don't even recognize much of a difference between the two, so I'll do the regular on this side of my face and the illuminating on this one. This one, of course, is a little glowier. This one is also glowy though, so that's why it's kind of hard to tell, but maybe I'll be able to tell today because I've never put them both on my face at once. These are both in the shade Light. And this is a complexion product that I keep in my pro kit. I use it on my clients and I use it on myself. I can't say that about many things. Usually I have my client kit that's very different from my personal one because my client kit is curated for everybody and my personal is curated for me. Let's get some more on there. And for once, I did my brows, you guys. I finally found a brow product that I like. It's not out yet, and I'm banned from talking about it until it is, but it's drugstore, and when it comes out, you're gonna be seeing me use it. People always ask why I don't do my eyebrows, and it's because a lot of brow products just don't look good on blonde brows. It just doesn't make me look better, it makes me look worse. If the product is like a weird blonde color or the pencil's too thick, I just won't use it. Now let me show you the skin. I'm telling you, I don't really notice a difference. I guess this one's a little more solid and this one's a little bit more glowy. So if you are really oily, maybe get the regular one. If you need a base product, if you don't need it, don't buy it. This is also buildable coverage. I'm gonna show you up close. So that's the illuminating. It's a little more pinky and I do see more of that glow to it. And then this one is just the regular. This is reg, this is glowy. Once they're blended out on the skin and everything, they're really not so different from each other. I use the illuminating more often, but I don't know why, because they both kind of perform and look the same to me. I mean, it's the same base. This one just has a bit of glow to it. Now, Purlisse does make a really nice concealer, but I think the Pacifica Dream Lit Glow is still my favorite. This is just a lovely full coverage, but still somehow natural looking concealer. They only have 5 shades. So if you want a more specific tone, if they don't have your color, then you could do the Purlisse, but if they have your shade in this one, then this could also be worth a try. It's good coverage, it's brightening, and it's hydrating. The thing that I love about it is that it doesn't get all yucky after a few hours. It stays hydrating to the skin and it covers what I need it to cover. Honestly, so does the Purlisse one. I don't know. I just got the Purlisse one. I've been using this one for longer, so I need to do some more testing with that one, but it is a good alternative. This is also just, I mean, that's just nice to me. If you have skin that gets cakey with certain things, concealers, especially fuller coverage concealers, can get really cakey on me. And most people think that if you have oily skin that you need a matte concealer. But if you have oily skin that shows your pores, a matte concealer can actually make you look a lot cakier, which is my big beef with like totally matte concealers. Because I don't mind glow, I can add my matteness in with powders. That makes it just a little bit more controllable for me. And then I'm able to pick my own skin finish. So this is glowy and this stays really pretty untouched, but I do powder this if I'm gonna be like out all day. And I'll show you my favorite powders as well, but that's a few steps away. And here is that Complexion. It's glowy and pretty and natural. This never cakes. It's not, I don't think it's capable of caking. I use it on every client who ever says she hates foundation, and it's always worked out in my favor. Now for bronzer, that would always be my next step, and I love this Tower 28 bronzer. I threw out another one. This is the third one I finished, and I'm testing out a new bronzer, but this one, I shouldn't have even strayed. This is my favorite one. It's the Tower 28 Sculptino in Broad. The thing that I like about this is the tone and the texture. The tone is beautiful. The texture, again, it's glowy and not cakey. I always set it, but it does dry down a bit into like more of a skin finish kind of look. Like going on, it's really balmy, but then it does dry down, like not overly shiny or anything, because I don't want to be like glowing everywhere, you know? But this is just a really good color for me. I think if you're fair and have a hard time finding bronzers that don't go super orange, it might be worth a try. It has enough warmth in it to effectively bronze, but it's not like so dark that my hairline looks silly and stuff. Because now that I have this super white hairline, I have to be even more careful than ever because makeup gets in it and just makes it look silly. And yeah, honestly, I need to order another one of these. It's $20, which I think is a pretty fair price for a bronzer that's like very good. It's not drugstore, and nowadays bronzers at the drugstore are like $12 anyway. I may as well just get the one I really like. And there are plenty of drugstore products that I love. I love that ColourPop bronzer stick too. But this one is just my favorite in terms of the blend and the texture. It's so balmy, it goes on, it's buildable. It's my fave. And of course, I always do all my cream products before powdering anything. So now it would be like time for blush. And guess what? Another Purlisse blush on the roster. So I've been really into these baby pinks, but I have another blush as well that is one of my favorites ever. It's called the Merit Fox Balm. So I'm gonna do the Purlisse pink on this side and the Fox Balm on the other. Lately, I've been like a baby pink girl, which is weird because I never was. I don't know what came over me. It's kind of bronzer. Ooh. I'm filming over a white rug. So baby pink on this side. This is more of like a terracotta-y color. And it's just also very nice, which is why I couldn't pick between them. They're good for different things. Like if I have a really loud eye makeup on, then I'd probably do the Merit. If I have a more natural eye makeup, then I would do the Purlisse Pinky Baby one. And let's add a little bit more of this because I think my bronzer overtook it. We'll apply it with the sponge and then you can really see it. This is in the shade Sweet Rose, and they have a more bubblegum pink too. I just don't own it. I have an orange one. I never use it. I'm getting away from orange. I used to love it. Yeah, see, that's just a little bit more lifting than this side. But this side, it's more of like a subtle, like daily vibe, or even evening, like with a smoky eye. This is incredible. And this, I actually like to add on top of my powder, so we'll do that later. And then just for the purpose of my lifestyle, I'm gonna kind of use the same end of the sponge to make them look a little bit more similar, because I wanna wear this glam today. Now, before I do my setting powder or my powder blush, I like to do bronzer. I like to get the bronze areas of my face set by bronzer before I cake it all up with powder. The way that I like to apply this is to set my cream bronzer with powder bronzer, because things end up less patchy that way. Sometimes if you set your face with powder and then you bronze, the powder sticks more in certain areas and then it becomes patchy when you're applying your bronzer, because some areas are powdered, some are still wet. So to keep it smooth, blush included, I like to apply it before any setting powder. It also just gives the bronzer an opportunity and the blush to stick to something, and then it will last you longer. Because on a super powdery face, it's hard to get powder products to stick really easily on top of that. And then finally, before we set the whole face, I would go in with my powder bronzer. I love this. This has been my holy grail. You can buy it without a compact, I think for $8 to $10, and in a compact for $10 to $12. It's inexpensive. They have like every shade. They have a more bubblegummy one. They have some brighter ones. They have deeper ones. They have every single pink and everything in between. They have orange. They have they have everything, okay? I love ColourPop, but this one is Prairie Air, and this has been like my blush ever since I got really into blush. This is a recent occurrence. I used to hate blush. I think I hated blush. Okay, transparently, when I started making content, I was like 25 pounds heavier. When I was a little heavier, my cheeks were fuller, and so I didn't like to play them up with blush. But now that I've lost that, I'm super into blush because it looks less extreme than it did. Like before, I was like all cheeks and I was trying to like slim down. So this is the point to add now our powder. My favorite powder of all time is the Givenchy Prisme Libre powder in number 2. Mine has just been destroyed. Usually they look so beautiful when they're new, but I have just eaten into it. And you guys, powdering is not worth it without a powder puff. A powder puff gives you a smooth, uniform, non-cakey finish, because when you use a brush to powder and you dip in, let's just say, what a waste, look how that powder is it's not even across the brush. And even if you do even it out, it's still more on this side. So then you get that sort of bumpy look, and then you add more powder, and then it's just not even, it's not as smooth, it's not as good as a finish. When you press with a puff the powder into the skin, it's so much less cakey. And it seems like it wouldn't matter that much, but for some reason, it makes a huge difference. Also, this powdering method on me looks natural. If you have really dry skin, you might not want to bake like this. Or you might want to bake but not cut under here because the skin is too dry for you. It all is dependent upon the texture of the skin, how much oil you create, and also how glam you want to look. Powdering adds a layer and almost like an element of glam that's a little bit stronger. I like that look and I need that look because otherwise my makeup will slip right off my skin because there's so much oil. But if you have less oil, your makeup's gonna cling and you might only need like a little pressing in here. On my drier skin clients, I press it in where it needs to be pressed, like here. And if we do a smoky eye, I press it under the lash line to keep it from becoming raccoony. But I don't go as ham as I would on myself. And yeah, unfortunately that Givenchy powder is the best. They come in minis, which are a little bit more affordable. I just buy whenever I have a sale at Sephora or whenever Givenchy themselves are doing like a gift or something, because it's expensive. And now we're like set and matte and locked in. And this is my whole base routine. I do not spray. The most I would do if I wanted to bump it up is add a little bit more bronzer. So maybe go back in with this and go through the cheek again, because sometimes when you powder, your blush and everything dissipates, but I still like that soft look. So maybe a little bit here, maybe a little down the nose, just to add more color. I generally don't do highlight. If I want a glow to the skin, I will use my Merit Flush Balm. I'll take this and I'll go right on top of the apples of the cheeks, and you test this before to make sure it works with whatever you're putting it on top of. I use this stuff a lot, so I kind of know, but sometimes putting cream on top of powder can mess with it a little bit. But see how that just brought a little bit of glow back to the skin? And a better method is by using the blender, because the blender has a little water to it and helps things melt together. So now I look like I have a little highlighting going on, but I haven't put any highlight. So to have a sheen instead of a shimmer looks better on my skin texture. And then if I find that that looks too different from the rest of the face, then I'll just bring it over the nose a little bit, bring it under the eye a little bit, and just blend it together. Oh, and also let's not forget the body. This will truly be the last step. So I do love just a highlighter on the chest. This Iconic London one, I don't like it on my face. It's a little sparkly for me, but this on the chest looks so beautiful, so glowy, pretty natural. And I feel like sometimes it can be weird to have like a really glam face and then just like a bare chest and shoulders. So if I have my arms out and my chest out, then I'll hit the tops of these with a little glow. Like, look at that. That looks 10 times better. And I will say it is mostly this, but I feel bad using this because this is so much more expensive than the e.l.f., for example. If you have the e.l.f., it comes in that big bottle and you can really get through it. Whereas this, I'm like almost out. It's a smaller bottle and I think it's like $30 to $40. But this one definitely works the best. So yeah, that's the last step to complexion. I don't spray. On oily skin, sprays are not what they are to dry skin. So unless I'm doing somebody else's makeup, I rarely ever, ever, ever spray my face. I get too shiny. Any spray that goes on, for some reason, it converts to dewy, oily, like mix of too much going on. Keep it simple. Try skipping your primers and hydrating the skin first and see if that helps. So yeah, that would be our last step, dewy and gorgeous. I do like a combination of dewy and matte on the skin. I like to have a natural looking skin. I like to fool men. Like my ex-boyfriend used to always say, I know you're wearing makeup, but you never look like you are. And that was the greatest compliment. So yeah, let me know if you try out any of these methods and let me know how it goes, and I'll see you for the next one.